Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Aim in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center conducts research to assist Kansas farmers in a variety of ways. It represents the single largest research investment by Kansas wheat farmers in history. Today, improving wheat productivity and profitability through wheat research is the mission of the Kansas Wheat Commission. Research that will be covered today involves celiac disease, seed breeding, and many other aspects of the wheat industry. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Aim in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. Each year, Kansas Wheat provides $2 million in research projects, such as wheat breeding, wheat quality, disease screening, insect research, and many others. We recently spoke with some researchers at a facility in Manhattan, Kansas, about how they are innovating and how they help Kansas farmers. Tyler is a third-generation farm kid who grew up on a diversified crop and livestock operation. He is a research associate for Heartland Plant Innovations. After earning degrees from Kansas State University in biology and chemistry in 2007, he went home to work on the family farm. But it turns out greenhouses serve him better than wheat fields. In 2012, after years of farming, he started to work at Heartland Plant Innovations and Kansas Wheat.
So my company works on a process that creates purebred lines. Traditionally, this is a process where you have to inbreed lines over and over and over again, which can take 10 generations and upwards of 6 to 8 years. HPI does this in a single year by creating a plant that is halving its genome, so it only has half the number of chromosomes that it normally would. And then we trick that plant into redoubling its chromosome count. So now it's back up to where it's supposed to be, but the copies of those chromosomes are exactly identical. We have a purebred line, and it only took us a year to get there. Speeds up breeding process by 5 or 6 years.
Tyler is from Lincoln, Kansas, and is working on embryos in the greenhouse at Kansas Wheat Innovation Center. The research could eventually help Kansas farmers by getting them their varieties faster.
So essentially, it benefits producers by getting new lines and new genetics out to them faster. You're always going to see improved benefits from the newest, greatest genetics that are being offered by breeders. We just get those in the hands of producers faster.
Wheat research has been stagnant compared to other crops grown in the Midwest, and the research conducted in these labs could pull wheat research back in line with other crops that are researched in the state.
Wheat has been kind of an orphan crop. Things like corn and soy have developed really, really rapidly with hybrid technology and like GMO and a bunch of other processes that have really taken those crops to an unprecedented level of production. Wheat has kind of been orphaned by that, so its production has lagged for the last several decades over those other crops, compared to those other crops. I think that these technologies, combined with some of the other things that are going on in wheat, will actually bring wheat back in line with productivity of those other crops.
Today, the researchers are in the process of emasculating the wheat spikes. The spikelets are cut open, exposing the insides of the florets. Part of the head is discarded, creating female heads for use in crossing. The heads are then bagged to avoid accidental pollination. The process is long, and it takes experienced staff to do the research.
We are actually emasculating these wheat flowers, so pulling out the male parts of the flower, and then we'll go back in 48 hours later and pollinate with maize pollen. And this induces a haploid embryo. So the maize pollen just causes that ovary to start developing into an embryo. It doesn't actually contribute any genetic material to that new embryo, but it gives you a plant that has half the number of chromosomes that it should. That's how we create these haploids.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fresh herbs are healthy and add zest to almost every recipe. The folks at Jackson's grow more than 50 varieties of herbs right here, and many are available year-round. Our staff has hands-on experience and can't wait to assist you with your herb needs. Stop in and see us at Jackson's. We're open 7 days a week.
Topeka's largest selection of homegrown herbs is at Jackson's Greenhouse, with 4-inch pots starting at just $3.79.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Am in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. A research associate from Heartland Plans Innovation is conducting research on wheat at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Lab. Currently, he's emasculating wheat spikes of the plants.
So the process that we do, we emasculate these wheat flowers, we pull out all the male parts, and then pollinate with maize pollen, which induces a haploid embryo. It causes that ovary to start dividing into a newly formed plant. That plant only has half the number of chromosomes that it normally would. And we actually have to go in and rescue that tiny embryo because it has no food source of its own. Like a normal wheat seed has the endosperm, which that embryo lives off of. So we go into the laboratory and excise that embryo out of the caryopses and plate it on media in a little test tube and grow those plants until they're viable on their own. It takes about 2 months to grow them big enough to come back out to the greenhouse, where we're growing them up until they start to tiller, and then we put them through a chemical called colchicine, which is a mitotic inhibitor that causes those plants to double their chromosome count. But now both of those copies of the chromosomes are exactly identical. You have a plant that is fully restored to its chromosome level and can reproduce normally, but has the added benefit of being completely homozygous. So every plant in the field is exactly identical. They're all going to behave at the same time, head out at the same time, ripen at the same time, and give you a more even field of wheat.
The research could eventually help Kansas farmers by getting them the varieties faster. The research he is conducting takes a little over a year. Purebred wheat varieties are in demand, and Heartland Plant Innovation customers and Tyler are committed to providing healthy and functional wheat varieties.
So the process takes about 16 months to complete. So people send us their seeds that they want to create these purebred lines from. We start working on them, we grow them up, do the process of emasculation and pollination, and then grow those very small seedlings up in test tubes until they're strong enough to live on their own, bring them back out to the greenhouse, wait till they're tillering, and then double their chromosome count and let those plants mature and grow out and produce seeds, and we send those seeds back to our customers.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Am in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center conducts research to assess Kansas farmers in a variety of ways. Chris Miller from Ingrain works on the Innovation Center and has research focused around celiac-friendly wheat development. Ingrain provides innovative products to improve bread volume, optimize pasta texture, and enrich baked goods.
So the research started about a year ago when they submitted their request for proposals, and so we submitted a research proposal related to this project to identify the exact causes of celiac disease related to wheat. And so the project was funded through the regular funding process for the research proposals, and that's how the research started, and then we're able to bring it here into the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center.
Miller is responsible for establishing the Ingrain Innovation Lab in Manhattan, Kansas. Miller is charged to conduct advanced research in cereal grain protein biochemistry that will advance the quality of products offered in the industry.
Really, in the last year, we've been working on identifying the wheat varieties that we're going to screen for the research project. And so what we've done is chosen a large set of wheat varieties ranging from some of the material from the early breeding program in the state of Kansas. So this dates back, seed varieties that were planted in the early 1900s all the way to the modern wheat varieties that we have growing in the state today. And so we selected varieties throughout the historical breeding program, but then also some wild relatives of wheat to fill out this pool. And so now what we're doing is doing extractions of protein from all of these different varieties, and then we'll be screening the protein for the levels of reactivity for celiac disease.
New research funded by farmers aims to breed a wheat variety for people who can't eat wheat and other grains. An endeavor that comes as wider consumer interest in gluten-free foods is booming.
Yeah, one of the main challenges with wheat research or wheat protein research is the complexity of the proteins, the storage proteins that are found in wheat flour or in the wheat endosperm. And so there's hundreds of proteins in the endosperm, and they're very similar in their characteristics. So separating each of those proteins out into pure fractions has been a challenge, but we're making progress on that part of the research right now.
Chris's research, which began in July at the Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan, Kansas, is still in its early stages, with researchers extracting proteins with seeds of various varieties of wheat. The goal is to improve all wheat varieties in general.
The way I look at it is we're just improving Kansas wheat. So in general, I think the best case scenario would be that we improve all new varieties of wheat that are grown in the state of Kansas. It wouldn't ideally be a special, variety that was only targeted for people with celiac disease. Rather, we just improve Kansas wheat in general, and by improving the baking quality, the milling quality, the yield potential, drought tolerance, all of these characteristics of Kansas wheat.
The grain technology developer Ingrain recently hired Dr. Chris Miller, Senior Director of Research, Innovation, and Quality. Miller brings over 10 years of experience in both research and the milling and food processing industry.
Yeah, so my company is based here in Manhattan, and really we service the flour milling and baking industry, and so we develop ingredients and additives that can be used to improve the baking quality of flour. And so my background is in wheat flour milling and also wheat protein biochemistry, and so the relationship between the grant and the work that I do for my company, they're very related, and so it was a natural fit. When I joined Ingrain, it was a natural fit to bring the grant and continue to work on the grant at the same time as I do my normal R&D process.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new hired hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more.
Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. Wheat is a staple that feeds the world's population, and Bikram Gill, University Distinguished Professor of Plant Pathology, has devoted more than 30 years to researching wheat genetics at Kansas State University.
So we're standing here in the Wheat Genetics Resource Center laboratory, and this is housed in the newly constructed Kansas Wheat Innovation Center built by Kansas wheat growers. And our major focus is conservation of wheat genetic resources and use them for wheat crop improvement in Kansas.
Gill is an international expert in wheat research, and he heads a team responsible for wheat seed preservation and improvement and mapping of the genome of wheat plants at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center.
Actually, we house a gene bank, and it has a collection of ancient wheats which are collected from all over the world, especially from the Middle East. Middle East is the birthplace of bread wheat. It originated around 10,000 years ago in Iran, and we have collection of all those ancient wheats, and we are studying these. So essentially every day we are growing these in the greenhouses just to maintain these accessions. We are evaluating them for useful traits, for example, high protein, drought, or heat stress, or disease or insect resistance. And then those strains which have these useful traits, then we crossbreed them with Kansas wheat to develop new varieties for the farmers.
Kansas wheat's resources allow breeders to create new varieties of wheat with specific desirable characteristics, such as more resistance to disease and insects. Gill's team performs research at K-State's Wheat Genetic and Genomes Resource Center, which he directs. Gill travels the world, especially in the Middle East, uncovering seeds to bring to Kansas to experiment and conduct studies on.
So the making crosses of some of these ancient wheats of the modern wheats is actually a very difficult task. You need what we call test tube babies. The hybrid seed actually will die. We have to actually go in very early and rescue the embryos and grow it on artificial media in a test tube. And then we need some additional work. So it's a very difficult work, and only our lab is very specialized to handle this sort of research. So we are known all over the world for our work in this area.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fairy gardening is now one of the fastest growing hobbies in the country. It is a great way also to introduce your children and grandchildren to the exciting world of plants. Basic fairy gardening is simple, affordable, and may be expanded as your interest grows. Let us help you. Jackson's has the best selection of many plants and accessories in Topeka.
Visit Jackson's and check out our great fairy garden collection. Bring the kids and grandkids too.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. Bikram S. Gill, University Distinguished Professor of Plant Pathology, has devoted more than 30 years to researching wheat genetics at Kansas State University. His program is part of the Industry University Cooperative Research Centers program, which develops long-term partnerships among industry, academia, and government.
So recently we have been designated as a Industry University Cooperative Research Center. This is sponsored by National Science Foundation, the premier agency for basic research for the U.S. The whole idea of the center is to conduct pre-competitive research which is of use to the industry. So the National Science Foundation provides us about 20% of the funding, and the other 80% of the funding has to come from private companies. And we have been very fortunate to have all the major companies who are members. They pay $50,000 per year as a membership fee, and we have 11 companies. Also, the wheat growers, Kansas Wheat Commission, Kansas Wheat Alliance, they're also our members, in addition to all the major companies such as Bayer Crop Science, Lima Grain, Syngenta, Dow AgroSciences, and many others.
The centers are initiated by a small investment from the National Science Foundation and are primarily supported by industry center members, with NSF taking a supporting role in the development and evolution of the center. Each center is established to conduct research that is of interest to the industry and the center facility.
So the idea is to build a synergy between the public and the private sector. So we have each member has one member which constitutes our industry advisory board. And then we consult with them, and we sort of flesh out projects. Right now, our number one aim is all the wheat breeders and the public and private companies. They feel that heat and drought are the biggest problems in terms of future wheat production in the Great Plains. And so our research focuses on heat and drought tolerance breeding in wheat.
Thank you for watching this episode over the Wheat Innovation Labs at Kansas Wheat Commission. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.